So, Mitch, what we said we'd do today is talk a little bit about software ideas and how it works and what your process is for assessing. I'm assuming you've got a couple of ideas to look at, which we'll get to in a moment if you have.
Yep.
Um, so, um, it's been around for 15 years, 16 years or so. Um, and we created it as a transparent, democratic process for people to suggest ideas. No idea is bad, no idea is great. It's really up for the customers to assess them and let us know what they think. Um, I know Luke, our software development manager, is not here because he is in New Zealand enjoying the winter wonders of Queenstown, but he actively looks at software ideas when determining what's going to be in an update, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And through your work with Luke, if you see an idea that you kind of that's getting voted for and you think it's a good idea, you're also promoting that through to him too.
Yeah, but like every time a customer votes for something, that goes through to Luke. He sees that is a popular idea.
So when you see a software idea, what's the first thing you do with the idea before it gets put up on the website?
So just sort of look what is involved in the idea. What's it for? What's the purpose, I suppose. And then it's sort of a bit of a discussion with Luke or just myself of okay, what would be required to achieve that.
From a technical point of view, what do we have to do in the software? What part of the software do we go to, get under the hood? What changes do we have to make to bring that idea to life?
Exactly. And sometimes it's just a minor change. Sometimes it looks like a simple thing, but it could be, a major change of fundamentals of retail.
Yep. How often do you look at the software ideas before they get like, are you looking at new ideas weekly or before they get loaded?
Couple of times a week, yeah.
Okay. And so there's that leading up to the loading. What about the process of kind of assessing where the ideas are at?
So once they're up for vote, we then, customers can vote on them. If they then, become a sort of a popular idea and we're then in an area, sort of prior to an update, planning that update, look at, okay, well, what ideas are in that area?
Yep.
We can then sort of allocate that work. And then post update, when the update's released, then going in back into the software ideas to go, okay, that one's now done, that one's done, that one's done, and to mark them as now finished.
Yeah. There are some updates where, 30, 40% and more of the update content comes from software ideas.
Yeah.
Yep. One of the challenges, of course, that for any software company, but one of the challenges that we have is, um, people think their idea is the best idea, and it doesn't make sense that their idea isn't already covered in the software. And part of that's because certainly in small business retail, people think their processes are the perfect processes. But we can go to 100 bike shops or 100 jewelers or 100 garden centres and we'll get 100 different ways of doing the one thing.
Well, exactly. And that then leads into the multiple marketplaces that we serve have used the same function in retailer slightly differently, and they have different expectations on what that particular facility should do. So
Yeah.
then weighing those different use cases up is, I suppose, our challenge.
And sometimes you'll see an idea suggested that's already covered in the software.
Yeah, yeah. So, there was one recently where it was, wanted to be able to arrive at an invoice by the total cost rather than the unit cost.
Hmm.
Looked at that, it's already there,
Yep.
but wasn't documented in our knowledge base. Just added that in to make sure that everyone knew it was there.
So you'll see ideas come in that lead to a documentation change just so that people know they can already do that thing.
Yeah, like, just a minor one-line change to the knowledge base, but just hadn't made
Yep.
it into the knowledge base before.
So if somebody loads an idea that doesn't make sense to you, what do you do?
That's a email back to the customer, just clarify what is it you're sort of looking for,
Yep.
and that might be sort of I might go back to them with, okay, this is how I've interpreted this. Is this what you're looking for?
Yep.
And that then becomes a little bit more of a back and forth as to what they're wanting to achieve.
And sometimes if an email isn't working, you'd pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah, if I need to, yeah.
Yep. Okay. You're not averse to talking to someone on the phone.
No, that's part of the job.
Okay. Why don't you show us an idea you've got that we can get an idea of what Mitch's process is for uh, being the cop in charge of software ideas. You're going to share your screen, aren't you?
I can do that. Yep.
Yep. Here we go.
All right. So thought we'd start with sort of just the website itself, where to get to software ideas.
Yep.
So when you log onto the website, you get to this page, and software ideas is just down the left-hand side,
Hmm.
software ideas, which takes us to the software ideas page.
Right.
And if you want to submit a suggestion, it's just share your ideas.
Okay.
And that takes you to a place where you can put in what your idea is, excuse me, and how urgent you think that idea is, and then just some a
And,
brief description of what you want done.
and in terms of that priority, that's a priority that the customer's requesting. It really depends on a whole lot of factors as to whether it's in the next update, all of that sort of thing. Um,
Absolutely. Like we try and make it so that the work we do is well, the next update is generally planned out already, and
mhm.
normally a couple of updates ahead. But if we're then planning to do some work in a particular area, that might then get that idea sort of shuffled into that sort of same update.
Okay. All right. Cool. So that's pretty straightforward. What's an idea that you're considering at the moment?
So I thought I'd start with a couple that I have knocked back, and then we get into some that are good ones.
Yep.
So this one came in about the AI invoice arrivals,
Yep.
which is wanting to basically dictate what columns in the PDF have which data. Now, we knocked this one back because with the AI invoice arrivals, what we're trying to achieve is a seamless process
Yeah.
that doesn't require, you know, the column mapping that you had to do for CSV and EDI arrivals.
Yeah. And as
Give
soon as you do what they're suggesting here, you're kind of playing against or contrary to what the AI process is all about.
Correct. It's becoming more labor intensive, which is
Yeah.
not what we want to achieve.
Yep.
So this one was knocked back with we're actually going to try and make it so that the AI can cope with the scenario they're describing where the columns are
Yep.
slightly different. And that was there was actually an update that went out straight after this idea came in that had an improvement to the prompt for the AI to address this
So we're
particular.
working on giving the outcome, but just not through this sort of change.
Exactly. So
Yep.
it sort of fix the underlying thing rather than
Yep.
implement the idea that they're suggesting.
Okay. All right. Let's look at another one.
This is another one that has come in, wanting to change the theme of retail, the visual theme to a dark mode.
Yeah.
Um,
I like this.
this one is probably one which is relatively popular for the people who like dark mode. The complexity comes in because dark mode is basically makes a change to every screen in retailer. You want to make sure that the text works, that you want to have the background black and the text change that color to white. So the work involved, whilst it's a very short idea, the work involved is actually quite intense,
Hmm.
where you need to make sure that you review every single screen in
So
retail.
to, so to be fair, when you say it's intense, I mean, you've got development work, you've got testing work, you're probably not going to get much change out of 100 hours of programming time.
Exactly.
And
And
100 hours of programming time, um, you know, uh, you're going to look at that um, potentially. Um, that's probably a $25,000-$30,000 project.
correct. And at the end of the day, you would achieve just a visual change.
Yeah.
That's not to say, so this one is going to be a knockback, but it's not going to be a no. It is actually something that we are slowly working through as we go, as we redesign a screen. It is, that we update the underlying components of that screen to make sure that it is compatible with
Okay.
that node. So it's a long-term project, but not one that's sort of feasible in the short term.
Okay. Cool. All right. What's the next one?
So this one now, I'll go to an example that is a great software idea. The simple subject and a one-line description of what they're wanting to do, and it's just a particular report to include a particular sale type,
Yep.
which currently doesn't include.
Yep.
Simple, straightforward, very clear to read. Okay, that's what they want. And for anyone who uses the ranked sales by customer report, they would read that and say, yes, okay, I want that as well. Nice and easy. They don't have to read a long.
So you're likely to agree to this,
Yep, this one's available for voting right now.
right? And it's achievable from a development perspective. It's not overly expensive to do, and you think there's going to be good customer engagement with it from a voting perspective.
Yep. So yeah, anyone who does the ranked sales by customer report and also uses, is heavy on invoicing and invoice credits,
Yep.
that would be one that they would probably be interested in.
Okay.
Looking at it, that's only got the one vote at the moment, but who knows, with a bit of time.
Okay. Do you have any others you want to show us?
This is one that was accepted and has actually already been complete.
Hmm.
So with the AI invoice arrivals, they wanted to be able to, there was already a button existing for keep existing sell prices. So you don't, when your sell prices get recalculated by your markup rules, if you don't want the new sell price to be applied, you want it to just stay the same.
Yep.
There was already a button for that, but there wasn't one for trade or web prices. So
Oh, okay.
it just wanted a new option for keeping their existing trade prices and keeping their existing web prices, and that was implemented, and that's in the latest update.
Excellent. Okay. Maybe if you stop sharing the screen, Dale, we can see you've joined us. Do you have comments or questions that you wanted to make in relation to ideas? Uh, Dale, I don't think is there, or is nope, you're there. Yeah, Dale, we can hear you now. Your net connection isn't good. We're not getting every word. No, we're not picking it up. Do you want to put something in chat that we can see, or Mitch, are you hearing any of that?
No.
No. What we might do is, because we're not picking up your audio, Dale, what we might do is, Mitch, if you reach out to him privately after this session, well, let's try again now.
No, he's frozen.
No, okay. If you reach out to him afterwards, and have a conversation and find out what his query is. So in terms of software ideas, you're responsible for reviewing them, and you'd be encouraging people to engage as much as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. It tells
Um,
us what they're interested in, what they want to see change.
yeah, and from our point of view, it's a genuine desire to learn from customers what else they'd like to see the software do.
Yep.
Okay. Next update, how far away?
Next week,
Yep. Feeling good about
so
it?
minor update. Then after that, that's Luke's decision.
Okay. You're involved in testing the updates. So you're part of the process. You have a say in when an update might be ready or not ready. And I think you get contact from customers who are in the beta program as well.
I don't.
You don't. Okay, we need to make that change then. Um, all right, let's leave it there. I'll let you go and have a chat to Dale and see where we get to.
No worries.
Thank you.